What's up guys, it's your favorite twins and the time has come. Today we are going to be going over our top 10 albums of the year. This is always very tough. Alright, we never know which way to go and we have to agree.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we are already at this time. I mean, I feel like the last 2 months just kind of flew by. But one thing I can say about 2024 is that the music did not disappoint.
No.
We had so many amazing albums come out. We were introduced to some amazing new artists that, you know, we've never heard of before or just never really, you know, dove into in terms of their discography. So coming up with this list, like Jordan said, it was difficult, like, because again, I think something should go here in this placement, and he's like, no, and then we gotta listen, it's just a lot. But what I can say is that I am proud of this list. I think it's a good list.
Yeah.
You know, it is everything that we have either heard on or off camera.
Right.
So a lot of these albums we have reacted to with you guys, so you kind of already know how we feel about them.
Disclaimer, this is our opinion, our personal opinion. This is what we listened to most this year. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not based upon anything but that fact.
But enough of all that talking. Without further ado, let's get into our top 10.
At number 10, we have The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess.
Yes.
Now, this may come as a surprise to some of you, as this album was released in 2023.
Yes.
However, the album saw a surge in 2024. We discovered it in 2024. It was released at the end of 2023, which is basically 2024. So, cry about it, okay?
Yes.
This is our opinion. It's what we listen to the most, but that's why it's at number 10.
Like Jordan said, we were introduced to this album towards the latter part of the year and absolutely fell in love with it. It's not what I expected at all. I go back to it a lot. I am a very huge fan of Chapel Roan.
Absolutely.
And it is all thanks to this album. So, The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, it had to be on the list.
10 out of 10.
Coming in at number 9 is Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii.
Because why not?
Cause why not? Like, here's the thing. We're not new to Doechii.
No.
But this really showed off more of her creativity. Like, and I love to see that it's getting a lot of attention now. Like,
yeah.
It's a slow burn, and those careers and albums you can always appreciate.
I love how organic the love for this album has been. Songs
Yes.
like Denial is a River, Boiled Peanuts,
Yes.
one of my favorites, Catfish, which
Absolutely.
is a sick run on the album. These are not typical mainstream songs.
Absolutely not.
But it's because of Doechii's talent, her delivery, her creativity,
Yes.
that it's taking off. People are resonating with it. I love that for her. Coming in at number 8, we got GNX by Kendrick Lamar. I feel like this is gonna surprise some of you. I feel like hip hop is a bit taboo on the channel, but we are hip hop heads. Like, you know, I've had this album in my rotation since it dropped. Man at the Garden,
What?
Squabble Up, Hey Now,
Whacked Out Murals.
What?
GNX, Peekaboo, like.
Kendrick had a big year, and so ending the year with this was just genius.
Coming in at number 7, we have Brat by Charlie XCX. What to literally say about Brat?
Yeah.
Like, what to say about Brat? It took over
Brat summer.
the summer. It was a Brat summer. And again, Jordan and I, we love Crash. Okay, we love Crash. And I could say that's really where, I might be late to the game, but our appreciation for Charlie came.
For sure.
And so to just have Brat be the follow-up, it was so different, so unique, that 90s club kid vibe, it worked, and it was again, another underrated artist now be pushed to the limelight. It was so fun to see, and the album is damn good.
She was able to somewhat push a genre back to the forefront that we hadn't seen in a while. Songs like Sympathy is a Knife, which is my favorite, Back to Back, 360, 365, club classics, you know. Listening to this album top to bottom, especially in a club setting, that's when you really get it. At number 6, we have Radical Optimism, one of the most underrated albums of the year, which surprises me because Future Nostalgia was so big, but Radical Optimism was in my rotation and still is for a while.
Yes.
Songs like Falling Forever, These Walls, Happy For You, Houdini.
Trading Season.
Like, this album is really, really good.
Really
Even
good.
French Exit, the deep cuts.
Yes.
To me, there really isn't a skip. I just feel like the album is a little disrespected.
I think so
So if you
too.
haven't heard it, if you haven't revisited it, I suggest you do.
No, yeah, I have to agree. I think this album is super underrated, and yes, it may not be what we were expecting after Future Nostalgia, but you gotta kind of let that go and just appreciate it for what it is. It's got great lyricism, great beat choices, great vocal performances.
Yeah.
It's just an overall really good album, and it made me cry.
Well, yes. Most of these did.
Coming in at number 5, we have Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. What? I have to say that I think this is my favorite Billie album.
Really?
I think so. She birthed one of my favorite songs of the year, L'amour de ma vie, okay? If you know, you know. And just, Chihiro, Birds of a Feather, right? So this album was so grown. And again, I think vocally this is Billie's, maybe besides Happier Than Ever, the song, like most impressive vocal performance. She really pushed herself, her and Phineas, and I think it's absolute perfection.
No, I have to agree with you. I feel like Birds of a Feather is definitely one of the greatest songs of her career.
Yes.
I think it's her most immersive body of work.
Yeah.
And that's what made it stand out, you know, among other albums this year. There's nothing else that really sounds like it.
No, not at all.
It sounded very Billie and still very original, and that's hard to do. But when you're an artist, when you're original, when you come from a real place, it's natural for you. Number 4, we have Short and Sweet. Let's keep it short and sweet. All right. Sabrina ruled this year.
Oh,
let's just be honest.
Absolutely.
2024 was Sabrina Carpenter's year.
Absolutely.
All right, everything from Espresso to Please 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 to Juno to Taste. Let's just be honest
Don't
here.
smile.
Don't smile.
Don't smile.
Yeah, no, this album was a very pleasant surprise. It really was. And I had no doubts. I feel like it's been a while since Emails I Can't Send, but Sabrina's done such a great job at drawing out these eras and making them feel really full, whole, and complete. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To where Short and Sweet felt like it came from right around the corner. Album went number 1. Please 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 went number 1. She got some Grammy noms. Like, we're just so proud of Sabrina. If you know, you know.
Yeah, listen, I've been a fan of Sabrina since Eyes Wide Open, okay? I don't know the ways of my time. Again, her career evolution, just like Chapel or Charlie XCX, it's so good to see. And Short and Sweet is a damn good album. Kudos to you, Sabrina. What an amazing year for you. Number 3, Tyler by Tyler.
Tyler by Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler by Tyler. Listen, you want to talk about a no-skip album? It's this one.
Yeah.
All 14 tracks, and if you want to include the 3 additional,
Push to Start.
Push to Start, Back to You.
Yeah.
It is a no-skip album. This is a 10 out of 10 album. It has been in rotation since it came out in March. Okay, I think Tyler has one of the most impressive debuts for a new artist. All of the hits.
The hits. Let's start there.
The hits, y'all.
Water.
Truth or Dare, Butterflies, On, Art, Jump. That's the album.
That's literally the album.
So like, I'm so impressed with her, and I can't wait to see what else she has in the store.
The most beautiful thing is her being South African and fully embracing her culture.
Absolutely.
And seeing this genre pushed to the front as well, and seeing the response from the world, the general public. It was just beautiful. I feel like mainstream music sometimes falls into some monotony. Yeah, and so it's nice when there's a new sound that comes in and is embraced. And so I love that.
Absolutely.
She's such a fresh face. Number 2, Cowboy Carter.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What can I say about it? Listen, I'm going to be very honest with you.
You want to talk about genres?
This being the number 1, we had a lot of conversations. Conversations were had. Cowboy Carter was such a monumental album this year. And I think, like Jordan said, the blending of genres, the genre blending on this album, the research, okay, the samples, who she got to collaborate with, the lyricism, the vocal performance, okay? What an album. This is a perfect album. And Beyonce just continues to push things to new heights. If you've seen the halftime performance, then you already know. There's just such an appreciation that she has for music, and you see it with Cowboy Carter. And the fact that that's not even the end of the trilogy,
it's such an intentional body of work, especially when you listen. And the way that it's structured, the way that it's paced, the way that it flows, you can feel that. You know, I love how she was able to take a country genre and still explore different parts within that genre. Not only that, it takes a very powerful stance. This is a black woman of her stature stepping into country music, which, let's be honest, has become a white man's game, right?
Absolutely.
To the public. But taking country music back to its roots and fully embracing that, I think it was a beautiful thing to do. She's from Houston, Texas.
Not to mention, she did birth my favorite song of the year, which is Two Hands to Heaven, so. And coming in at number 1, drumroll please. Probably guessed it. Eternal Sunshine by Ariana Grande.
Shining eternally.
Listen, for me personally, Eternal Sunshine is in her top 3 albums of all time. I think this is, besides Thank You Next, Ariana's most personal album. I mean, she came back. We had a little bit of a wait between this and Positions. It did not disappoint. I think the emotion, the vocal performance, the lyrics, everything, like, oh my god, we can't be friends, I wish I hated you, Supernatural. The title track, Eternal Sunshine, like, this album has been literally on repeat since it came out. It was in my top played albums of the year.
I think what made this album so special is the time that Ariana's in. she's definitely in a time of film. So for her to put out an album that is inspired by film,
yeah,
right, and to see her take on what feels like a different vocal performance on the album,
absolutely.
It was special. And if you really listen, it tells such a beautiful story. Everything from the intro to Saturn Returns, like there's a pace there that you can just feel. And what's crazy for me, this crept up for me at the end of the year. I went through something which caused me to relate to the album.
Yes.
And I appreciated it 10 times more because I could now understand it beyond just a consumer's ear. I really felt it.
Yes.
Because I was living it.
That's funny because that's me at the beginning of the year when the album came out. So like, yes, when you are able to relate to an album of this personal depth, it makes it, the listening experience, that much better.
Right.
Like, oh, this album just evokes so much emotion. And I hope amongst the fandom and the general public that this is not one of her forgotten gems.
Just want to again exclaim how proud we are of Ariana with Eternal Sunshine, the release of Wicked. You know, just she's really doing great things.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where else she's gonna go.
Yeah. Now, you know, we can't do this video without mentioning some honorable mentions, and we do have a couple.
Wicked soundtrack,
The Torture Poets Department,
Vertigo,
143,
Chromacopia,
and City Cinderella.
There were a few more, you know, but these were ones that we were taking on and off the list.
Yes. Listen, these albums, like we said, with this list, it doesn't mean that the album was bad in our eyes. It's just, you know, what was at our top and what we had to agree with. But these honorable mentions, they did birth some amazing songs. They were well crafted. Again, they are what made this year for music so great. They are definitely contributions to that. Some people I never thought would be on our list, Tyler, the Creator, but here I am playing Chromacopia and Sticky. Like, again, and with Taylor, the records that Taylor Swift is breaking is insane. Jordan introduced Griff to me. Let me tell y'all something.
If you're not into Griff yet, I need y'all to get into Griff.
It's fun to react on the channel, but sometimes, especially with an album like Vertigo, off camera, when you can really just sit in your own corner and just digest the album, we had to with that one. With 143, obviously we reacted to it on the channel, and that was just a great album. Listen, all the love.
City Cinderella, I think JT put out a really great body of work.
Absolutely.
One of the best female rap projects this year.
Yes.
All in all, we want to shout out every artist that's put out music this year. I say this every year, but it takes a lot to open yourself up to the world. You open yourself up to a lot of criticism, and so I gotta give props to every artist that continues to do this and wear their heart on their sleeve. Like Julian said, 2024 birthed a lot of great music that I think we're gonna carry with us into the new year.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
And listen, if Lana didn't come out so late in the year, it would have been on this list. But of course, we want to know what your top 10 albums of the year are. Let us know down below in the comments. And if our lists are kind of the same,
let us know. If you enjoyed watching this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications, that way you know when we upload. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Happy New Year!